beautiful evening, and I'm going to Wilton's, but I couldn't resist visiting the place where I was born. It would have been nice if I was born in that house. That house is quite classy, but unfortunately this is the house that I was born in. It's a bit sad. There it is. There you go. I wasn't actually born in the house, I was born in a hospital. And now I'm going to set off down that street to Wilton's. Thank God it wasn't knocked down. It was still abandoned for a very long time. And it's here again with my friend Matthew Sturgis. Everyone's going to get very suspicious, Matthew, that we seem to do so much together. And this is, are you a sergeant in arms?
I am, absolutely.
This is a sergeant in arms, in case you need to. Are you? No, what are you?
Garter King
He's
of
the,
Arms.
sorry, he's the Garter King of Arms. So if you want a coat of your arms, this is your man.
So we've just seen the most marvellous production of Patience, which is a sacred work of art for anyone who loves Oscar Wilde, because Oscar saw this as a very young man in 1881 when he was in London in his 20s, and he adored, really embraced this satire on aestheticism and realised it was so hugely popular that he wanted to ally himself to it. And so he really convinced people that it wasn't a generalised satire on all the great figures of aestheticism like Whistler and Swinburne and Rossetti, but actually it was a satire upon himself. He, at that stage, was a young man recently down from the university, famous for almost nothing except writing a few poems in various magazines. And that sort of alliance of himself with the figure of Bumthorne took hold. And the following year, when he was trying to really monetize, as we would now say, his celebrity, he was taken up by Richard Doyley Cart, the impresario and producer of the Gilbert and Sullivan operas, who had recently launched a production of Patience in America, in New York. And the show was going well because the music and the words were so brilliant. But he was very conscious that the Americans didn't really know what the aesthetic movement that was being satirized was. And so he had this inspired idea of taking Wilde over to America and getting him to lecture on aestheticism. And not only lecture on it, but lecture on it wearing essentially Bumthorne's costume, this sort of velvet suit with knee breeches. And indeed, before he began his first lecture, he arranged for Wilde to attend a performance of the American production in New York. And the press were all there and noted Wilde's presence in one of the boxes. And Wilde had prepared a little sort of quote that the newspapers could take down about how this, as Bumthorne appeared on the stage looking very like Wilde as Wilde was looking then, that this was the tribute that mediocrity paid towards those who were not mediocre. And extraordinarily, the ploy worked. I mean, not only were Wilde's lectures incredibly well attended, but box office receipts of Patience soared and climbed, and the production was rolled out, as they say, across the United States.